that universe, God, source is going to provide all of the hows and all of the whens, and I don't have to worry about any of that, and literally just surrender to that. And then throughout the day, anytime you think about the subject, think about it in the new way of thinking about it. Change your belief system that way. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union. And today's going to be a second part of a video called Circumstances Never Matter, where I'm going to share just a few more short stories. I feel like a lot of you guys really love these videos, and I love telling the stories because even as I tell the stories, they actually reinforce it for me because we're human and we do tend to forget. So anyway, I'm just going to dive right in. Like I said before in the previous video, circumstances literally never matter. Things can change and shift and change in your reality, sometimes instantly. Sometimes they may take a little more persisting. But no matter what, life is always reflecting your conscious and unconscious thoughts and basically your beliefs to you. Okay, so what you want to do is change your belief systems. You've already brainwashed yourself in a lot of situations, telling yourself that you can't have X, Y, or Z for whatever reason, and it's usually because of just programming from when you were growing up, from the things that you see, from other experiences that other people are having, and you unknowingly let all of these seeds get planted in your mind, and they took root, and they became your belief system. And what's going to happen is the things that we believe in so strongly, consciously and unconsciously, are going to be reflected back to us in our reality. It's just that simple. It's just automatically a thing. It's not that you're trying to do it. It's just how it is, okay? So I want to talk about a conference that I went to. This was, I don't know, several years ago, and I was in like the second version of my retail store. And it was during the recession, and things were tough, and I was just learning, basically, so this was probably 2008, so this was 2 years in me learning how to understand and leverage all of this stuff. So I went to this conference, and I had left a friend watching my business. And at the time, again, we were in the recession and business wasn't good. And during the conference, the person who was speaking had answered some questions about somebody who was a photographer who had their own studio. And their story was that everybody loved their studio. They would always come in, they would admire their photographs, but they would literally never buy anything. So the person who was speaking at the conference pointed that this is the belief that you have. And the person said, yeah, but this is what's happening. And they tried to explain, but it's happening because this is what you believe. Who cares where the belief came from? You don't have to chase that down. But what we have to do is recognize it and shift and change it in your mind, which is where the work comes in. So the person told the photographer, what I want you to do is think about your studio, think about the people coming in and admiring it, feel excited about that. Now, I want you to imagine when you were taking the photographs, because you're a photographer and this is what you love doing, this is what you're passionate about. These are the seeds that were planted inside of you from God, Universe, Source, wanting to bring your photography into this world so people can enjoy it. I want you to imagine yourself looking through the camera lens and having that feeling when you knew you had that perfect shot and you took a deep breath and you took the shot. And I want you to imagine that with all the photographs that are in your studio. And I just want you to kind of infuse that, because at the time is an illusion. Time and space do not matter, okay? You can go back and remember that feeling and infuse that energy, that appreciation and that love onto the photographs in the studio, and people will feel that. It will automatically magnetize them to your photographs, and your photographs will become absolutely irresistible because they are doused with appreciation and love. A lot of this is what I'm saying now. It's not what the person in the conference was saying, but this is how I understood things. So I decided I'm going to do this with my store, and I did it from the parking lot during an intermission from the conference. All I did was I surrendered myself to this. I trusted that when I do this, this is going to work. Imagine myself being back in the store and seeing the products on the shelves. Then I took it further back in time, and I imagined myself when I was looking through my different manufacturers and vendors' catalogs during the curation and buying process of products. So I could look at a catalog of 1,000 products and I could know the one product. People are going to love this. People are going to absolutely love this because I loved it when I looked at it. And I know that people are going to feel that energy, right? So that's what I did. I imagined the products that I knew were currently on the shelf in the store. And I went back in time and I remembered how excited I was. And I knew that as I was doing that, that all of that love was getting infused energetically into these products and that people were going to see it and feel exactly what I feel, right? And it's this goodness inside it. So I did that, went back in, finished the conference, and when I was driving back to the store, I called my friend and she said, "You're not going to believe what happened." I said, "What?" And she said, "I don't know, it was like an hour ago." She said, "All these people suddenly came in. I've never seen it like this. They came in and they just started buying things left and right." So I knew in that moment something that happened. And I understood time, space, energy, love, appreciation on a whole other level. Hey guys, I just want to add here that when you take this principle and you apply all this love and appreciation to yourself for yourself, then everything in your life's experience absolutely has to reflect that back to you. That's just the way it works. And so this is just another example of how circumstances literally never matter. Things can change instantly. I do also believe in quantum physics. I believe that every moment we're shifting in and out of different realities, different parallels, and that we simply, time, space, continuum, all of that is an illusion. And that when you surrender yourself to trusting and knowing and believing in something, that you will experience that God, universe, source is going to give you everything that you need in terms of the how and the when you don't have to worry about. And when you can surrender to that, then you are going to have that experience in your life. And it's not any kind of magic trick. Like when this happened with the people in the store, it was just that I shifted into basically changing my belief system. I totally, completely surrendered to it. I completely trusted and knew that this was actually a thing. I lived from the end of that and I experienced it knowing that it already existed. And then it existed. The next story that I want to tell is how back when I had my retail store, and this was probably, 2015 or so, and I wanted to sell my home. So a lot of real estate brokers were saying that I couldn't get what I wanted for it. And I knew from experience that this was something I could change personally. I didn't have to trust in what the real estate brokers were saying because they're not God. They're not the universe. So I always take my final word from universe, God, source, which is what is like deep in the core of me, my truth and my belief, and the thing that inspires me and lights me up inside. This was the second time in my life that I experienced this, by the way. So I already had confidence in this particular area. So I basically said in my mind, thanks, no thanks, to the real estate brokers. And I started affirming and seeing and imagining that just like before, somebody was going to want to buy my home for exactly what I was looking to sell it for, and that it was going to be an easy transaction. So that was my intention, and I trusted in that. So a little time passed, and I was having a party at my retail business, and a young couple approached me, and they were asking me about different things, and through chatting, through our conversation, it ended up coming up in the conversation that I was going to sell my house myself, and they were very interested, and they asked me how much, because I guess they were looking for a house, basically that was exactly what I was selling. So we had this 5-minute conversation, and in the conversation, they said they were very interested. And basically what happened after a week was they ended up visiting me. They ended up making an offer on the house, and I sold the house. And it was really that simple. Now, through the process, there were some things that had come up. Different circumstances did come up that were frustrating. I don't remember exactly what they were because I feel like I've wiped my brain clean of it completely, and there's no point. It doesn't really matter because what happened happened and it worked out. But just another example of how I always trust what's down in my core, okay? So the last story I want to talk about, this is just a really cute one. I was at a department store with somebody and we were looking in the men's clothing section for something. And at the time, I really wanted a black pullover hoodie with a black drawstring. And for some reason, I was having a hard time finding it. So we were looking around and I happened to see the rack with all of these hoodies. But because they were men's, I knew that they would be too big and they just wouldn't fit my body right. So I was excited about finding it though, and I imagined having it in the women's version. So I just kind of let it go. I just imagined it really quickly, and then we went on and we were looking at different things, and then we decided to go look for a small appliance. So we went to the small appliance department in this big store. Now we're looking around. I'm looking for something. The person I went to is looking for something else. And she's having a hard time finding what she wants. And I could tell she was getting frustrated, so I wanted to help her. So now I'm urged to help her, and I'm looking around, I'm looking everywhere for what it is that she wants, and I can't find it. And I'm looking down the aisles, and I am drawn to looking, and I got down on my knee to see if the box I was looking at was what she was looking for. And when I got down, now mind you, I'm in the appliance section, okay, and I'm in this large department store. I have an urge to get down on my knee and look at the bottom shelf near the floor, and the exact same sweatshirt, but in the women's version, it was either a small or medium, was sitting right there. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is my sweatshirt. This is literally the sweatshirt that I was just imagining. And so that just like literally happened instantly. And for kicks, so I grabbed it and I was going to get it, of course. And just for kicks, me and the person, I said, I want to just see, I'm just curious if we go to the women's department, if there are more of these sweatshirts. And we went there and there were none. There were literally none. This was the only one in the entire store. So again, just a perfect example of how circumstances never matter, and how when we don't have any resistance to something, things will magically kind of just appear in our reflection, in our experience. And just to mention again, manifesting is just a thing that's automatically happening, whether you want to be conscious and aware of it or not. The way I see it is this. Up until now in your life, in different areas, maybe of love, career, money, health, you may have belief systems in place that were based off of a lot of lies and illusion. And in some cases, also these belief systems are based off of bad things that have happened to us in our lives. So we're coming at things sometimes from wounding, from trauma, and just from this state of having been brainwashed into believing things that are coming from a fear-based ego. Okay? So if you can just start trusting and start changing your belief system daily through repetition, just through morning, noon, and night, saying your affirmations in whatever way feels good and natural to you that make you feel good inside on whatever the subject is, and back up those affirmations with the intention of, I know that when I do this, that universe, God's source is going to provide all of the hows and all of the whens, and I don't have to worry about any of that, and literally just surrender to that. And then throughout the day, anytime you think about the subject, think about it in the new way of thinking about it. Change your belief system that way. Brainwash yourself in that way of sitting more in a place within yourself of love, unconditional love, and less from fear and less from trauma. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope this video helps. I will see you next time. Maybe I'll come on in another few days with a few more short stories, and hope that you can take away a lot from it, okay? I love you guys so much. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, feel free to email me at kim@coreunion.com. Like the video if this was helpful. Share it so more people can find my channel. And I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.